Hey, my friend, let's get real about something that's been bothering every Cowboys fan lately. The whole situation with Dak Prescott. I mean, how long are we going to wait for the front office to make a move? You've probably heard the same frustrations I have. Fans are fed up. Some are even calling Jerry Jones an idiot, saying things like, "It's the same story every year." And honestly, can you blame them? This is classic Cowboys, waiting, delaying, and then watching the price tag go up. Here's the deal. Dak is heading into the final year of his deal, and every week the front office stalls. That extension gets more expensive. The longer they wait, the more leverage Dak has. And if they don't extend him soon, they're either going to overpay or face the risk of losing him, or worse, slapping the franchise tag on him again and creating more cap drama. Now, let's talk strategy. Do you believe this team should double down on Dak and pay the man what he wants? Or is it time to seriously think about the next guy up? Because here's the truth. If they don't commit now, they better have a succession plan ready. And I get it. Dak has his critics. Some say he's not the guy to take us to a Super Bowl. But others argue he's been solid despite the chaos around him. Bad O-lines, inconsistent play calling, and questionable roster decisions. Yet he's kept this team competitive. So, where do you stand? Let's make this interactive. Vote right now in the poll above. Do you still believe Dak is the guy for this team moving forward, yes or no? And hey, hit the comments too. I want to hear from you. If you were Jerry Jones, would you extend Dak before the draft, wait until camp, or start looking for a new QB right now? Stick with me, because coming up next, we're diving into the hottest trade rumors surrounding the Cowboys. And yeah, some big names are on that list. You don't want to miss what's being said about Kyle Pitts, Trey Hendrickson, and even Jalen Tolbert. All right, let's jump into the part that always gets fans talking, trade rumors. And trust me, this offseason hasn't disappointed. Let's start with Trey Hendrickson. The guy's a beast off the edge, no doubt. He's been a consistent threat in Cincinnati. And with the Bengals needing to make some tough financial decisions, his name has popped up in trade talks. But here's the catch. His asking price is high. And with the Cowboys already preparing to hand Micah Parsons a monster extension, adding Hendrickson might, not fit in the puzzle. You can't pay top dollar to two pass rushers without feeling the squeeze somewhere else. Now, Kyle Pitts, this is the name that keeps resurfacing. Every time there's buzz about a potential offensive splash, Pitts is right there in the conversation. And yeah, the idea of pairing him with ceedee and Ferguson sounds pretty wild on paper, but let's not ignore the reality. Since his rookie year, Pitts hasn't exactly lit it up. He's got freakish talent, sure, but the numbers haven't backed it up. Plus, exercising that fifth-year option, it won't come cheap. So the question is it worth rolling the dice? Then we have Jalen Tolbert. Not exactly a headline name, but he's an interesting case. If the Cowboys go wide receiver early in the draft, and there's real smoke there, Tolbert suddenly becomes a potential trade chip. He's flashed in limited reps, and with the right team, he could carry some value. Could a WR-needy team offer a day 3 pick? Maybe even package him in a larger deal? So let's break this down. Hendrickson, high impact, high cost. Worth it? Pitts, big name, inconsistent results, expensive option year. Too risky? Tolbert, developmental guy, might be a sweetener in a draft weekend deal. Now it's your turn. Hit the comments and tell me, which of these guys would you want on the Cowboys? Pitts, Hendrickson, or would you rather stick with what we have? Let me know below. And here's a quick vote for you up top. Choose your favorite trade. Target from the 3. I'm watching the poll results. Coming up next, we're shifting gears and going deep into the Cowboys' draft strategy. There's talk of double dips at key positions, sneaky trade-down options, and some under-the-radar prospects you'll want to keep an eye on. Stick around. You're about to hear some names that could be future stars in Big D. All right, let's get into the Cowboys' draft plans. And believe me, there's a lot of smoke swirling around the star. One of the most talked about strategies this year? Double dipping. If you're not familiar with the term, it basically means drafting two players at the same position in the same draft. And based on the team's needs, the Cowboys might just go that route, especially at running back, cornerback, offensive line, and maybe even linebacker. Take running back, for example. With no clear RB1 and Tony Pollard out of the picture, don't be surprised if Dallas snags one early and another later to build out that depth. Same goes for the offensive line. This team needs help now and long term. You draft a plug-and-play guy, then a developmental player to groom behind him. Smart, right? Now, let's talk trade-down scenarios. Dallas sits in a decent draft position, and there's buzz they might move down to accumulate more picks. That could open the door for grabbing guys like Elijah Arroyo, the tight end with solid upside and blocking ability; Cedric Williams, a versatile OL who could play inside or out; and Dylan Harmon, the linebacker some scouts are comparing to a young Demario Davis. Speaking of Harmon, he's been stacking up against Jaden Nolan in pre-draft comparisons. Nolan might have the flashier highlights, but Harmon brings that steady physical presence Dan Quinn used to love, and Mike Zimmer might appreciate even more. But if you're into wild cards, how about Desmond Watson? The dude's a 200-kilo defensive tackle. Yes, seriously. And he's become a draft internet legend. Some say he's a future run stuffer. Others think he's just too big to last in the modern NFL. Boom or bust? You tell me. Now I want your take. Would you rather see Dallas trade up for a specific target or move down and stack more picks? There's a poll right above. Hit your choice. And in the comments, tell me, which position would you double dip this year if you were in the war room? Coming up next, we're diving into one of the most intriguing conversations this offseason. Who's next after Dak? We're talking Joe Milton, surprise QB prospects, and whether the Cowboys should finally groom a true successor. Let's get into it. Now let's talk quarterbacks, and more specifically, life after Dak. Whether you're still riding with number 4 or not, the reality is clear. The Cowboys need to start thinking about the future under center. Enter Joe Milton III. This kid's got one of the strongest arms in the draft, no question. His deep ball, a rocket. His frame, built like a linebacker. And his athleticism, top tier for a QB. But here's the catch. He's wildly inconsistent. Sometimes he'll drop a perfect 60-yard bomb, and other times he'll sail a 5-yard out route. But that's also why he might fall to the 6th or even 7th round. And for that price, he's a gamble worth taking. Think about it. A low-cost, high-upside backup with tools you just can't teach? That's the kind of swing that could pay off big later. Now, Milton isn't the only name floating around. Some scouts are high on Jalen Milroe from Alabama. He's raw, but has that dual threat ability. Cameron Ward brings more polish, while Tyler Show has battled injuries but showed flashes. None of these guys are first-rounders, but each brings something different to the table. So the big question is, should Dallas take a flyer on a raw talent this year, stash him, and start developing Dak's potential successor right now? Or is that just wasting a pick when there are more urgent needs on the roster? Let's bring this to you. Who would you draft as a backup QB in Dallas? Milton, Milroe, Ward, or someone else entirely? Drop your pick in the comments. I'm reading everything. Up next, we'll wrap things up with a look at what to expect in the final weeks before the draft, from Micah's contract buzz to possible last-minute trades. Let's bring it home. All right, let's close this out by looking ahead, because these next few weeks before the draft, they're going to be critical. First up, Micah Parsons. All eyes are on his extension. The front office has made it clear they want to lock him up long-term, but don't expect anything to move fast. The expectation is that this deal won't get done until right around training camp, just like we've seen with other Cowboys stars in the past. Whether that's strategic or just bad habit, well, that's up for debate. Now let's talk potential last-minute trades. Every year, Dallas surprises us with a move or two late in the game. Don't be shocked if they pull the trigger on a small trade, maybe for depth at offensive line or cornerback. Remember, They love value plays, and some veterans could become available as other teams finalize their boards. As for draft strategy, things are starting to take shape. After addressing key needs like offensive line, running back, and corner, the less urgent spots look like quarterback, especially if someone like Joe Milton comes in, tight end, and even special teams. Doesn't mean those positions are ignored, just that they won't be high priority unless something unexpected falls into their lap. And now it's your turn again. Who do you think the Cowboys should target in a last-minute trade? Or better yet, which player on this roster would you trade away today? Drop your ideas in the comments. I want to hear your takes. And hey, if you're loving this type of content and want more breakdowns like this every week, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and tell me which player you would trade right now if you were in charge of the Cowboys.